All right, welcome back. I'm gonna see if there's anyone down here I can talk to.
Hello?
Not a lot of people in here, just a bunch of rangers. Yeah, just a bunch of rangers. It's probably the most rangers I've seen this whole game. Oh, there has to be what I need in here, right? Should be a star, yep. How many stars I got? Ooh. 40, alright, that's a good number. Let's go check if I could turn that back in. The what's his face at some point. What's in here? Any doctors, people to talk to? Nope.
Morning.
This place is so run down. This place is just really run down. Bunch of rangers, man.
Hello?
You'd think the NCR would be a lot more cleanly and kept together. Well, that's broken, like it says. All right, let's go talk to Cheekers McGee. What he's been probably that's what he's been doing. Just doing false reports since he doesn't know what the hell's going on.
Patrolling the Mojave almost makes you wish for a nuclear winter.
Hey.
38 VIP card.
Hello?
Where is this guy at? I could take that card too. I should take it. Hello, Chief Hanlon.
Back west, you don't see too many of these. Lakes, I mean. Natural or man-made. Any kind, really. We neglected the dams or pumped all the water out a long time ago. Owens, Isabella, the San Luis. Drained the aquifers of everything they had. Just a lot of mud and dust now. It's a different feeling watching the sun come up over the water.
I mean, aquifers can
Takes
obtain
some
water.
getting
Yeah,
used
it
to.
takes a long time.
But if you're here long enough, it starts to seem normal.
Actually, I should look it up.
That's what a ranger's life
I would think
is
so.
now, looking east. You must be the courier folks have been talking about. Word on the radio is that someone wronged you back in Good Springs. The Mojave has a way of burning decent people up. But it sounds like you've done right by the NCR. It's appreciated.
You talk a lot.
Now what can I do for you?
You ever stop talking?
I didn't realize you were in such a hurry. I get so used to sitting in this chair and listening to radio reports, sometimes I forget people are getting ready for war out there.
Something else.
Shoot.
Think about the Rangers.
I could tell you a lot if you had the time. But at my age, I'm not sure which of us would get tired first. What do you want to know?
How long have you been in the Rangers?
Oh, well, I guess it must be coming up on 40 years or so. Back before Elise was chief, anyway. It was a heck of a lot harder then. Weren't as many of us to go around, but I think it was a lot easier to tell the good guys from the bad.
What do the Rangers do?
Well, there's what we're supposed to be doing and what we're actually doing. There's a big gap between those two things. About as wide as that lake out there.
Okay. What are you supposed to be doing?
To protect against all forms of tyranny. As simple as that. 30, 40 years ago, the wasteland was full of despots. Slavers, raiders, tough-talking hoodlums with gangs who'd like to kick around towns. Back then, the NCR military was still young. Couldn't cover much ground. It took groups like ours to tip the balance back to the good guys.
What do you actually do?
Sitting on the shore of Lake Mead, looking east. Listening to a radio. trying to not get too many people killed.
Yeah, you sound like your
I'm too
boy.
old to be slapping leather, but I had hoped for something else. More than this, anyway.
Why are the Rangers here?
There's a lot of answers to that question, but it started with the Ranger Unification Treaty. We weren't always the only show in town. Nevada had its own posse, the Desert Rangers. They fought Caesar even farther east out in Arizona. Years back, we met with the Desert Rangers at Mojave Outpost and agreed to help them against Caesar if they would join the NCR.
Oh, but where are they? You have any good stories to tell?
Suppose it depends on what you think's good. Most folks want to hear about Hoover Dam and Boulder City, but it's a long story. If you want some tall tales about hunting down slavers or busting up gangs, talk to one of the younger Rangers.
That's 50 speech. Must be something I'm proud of.
It's kind of a long one, but all right. About 25 years ago, a group of NCR settlers pushed way south into Baja. I guess it doesn't seem so far now if you look at a map, but back then they were out of ways. They built this little shanty town around a well in the middle of nowhere. Called it Rattletail.
Continue, my friend.
Word got back to one of our stations that raiders had been attacking the place. I went out with 6 Rangers. We must have been on the trail for a week before we got to Rattletail. We lost one woman to night stalkers and another almost died of dehydration. When we reached the place, it's 6 shacks set up around an old well.
Continue.
There's over 24 bodies lying in the dunes way outside of town and 5 men with .308 rifles crouched behind sandbags. And these bodies, these people out in the sand, they aren't raiders, aren't even heavily armed. They're just people who were trying to get to the only well in 50 miles. I didn't have to talk to the men to see that they did not care one bit.
Continue.
They had planted an NCR flag over the well, and they would not budge until every last one of them was laid out dead and cold. So I walked up and told them there was a group of raiders coming, 100 strong. I made up some cockamamie name for them and everything. The men looked at each other, looked at us, and asked me what we were going to do about it.
Continued.
I told them we would take them back into NCR territory because we'd already lost 10 Rangers on the way out. 10 Rangers, 5 men with .308 rifles. Well, that was enough for them. They packed up what they could and we took them back north. Last I heard, they settled somewhere in Anza Borrego. Raised bighorners.
So this guy's
Had
a
some
lie.
tough times, but it worked out okay.
Try to trick those guys saying there's hundreds of raiders.
So there you go. That's my one bit of good.
What happened at Hoover Dam?
In big battles, Caesar deploys his legionaries in waves. Recruits up front, prime soldiers behind the recruits, old guard bringing up the rear. Opponents wear themselves out dealing with the first 2 waves, if they survive that long. When the veterans step up, there's not much fight left. Caesar can adapt, though, and when required, he can run any mix of legionaries as skirmishers and still retain order in the ranks.
Okay, continue.
Joshua Graham, Caesar's old legate, he wasn't so flexible. When the Legion attacked Hoover Dam, General Oliver ordered his troopers back to the middle ground just after first contact. Graham pushed all of the legionaries onto the dam, filling the east side with recruits up front and veterans in the back, by the book.
Jesus. This dude talks.
But once they were in, they were stuck there. Oliver's troopers were entrenched and wouldn't give a
Is he
foot.
giving me the whole story of the
That's
whole
when we
entire
ordered the Rangers and the 1st Recon
NCR
sharpshooters
Legion War?
to start picking off veteran Legion officers from a high ridge west of the dam. That only lasted about a minute before Graham ordered the back ranks to push through to the front and rush the ridge.
Continue.
Caused total chaos among the younger legionaries. Oliver's troopers fell back to the side walkways and stayed out of the veterans' way. By the time the veterans got to the ridge, we were already in Boulder City. They followed us down there, but we were out before they realized what was happening.
And
We'd packed the old city with C4 and
oh yeah, I
dynamite.
remember hearing that.
Crude, but it did the job. Those who didn't die in the blast were in no position to mount a defense. The ones left on the dam didn't know what to do. The troopers routed them. Graham pulled the remaining legionaries back, but the battle was over. He went south, back to the Grand Canyon, back to Caesar. And that was the last we saw or heard from Joshua Graham.
Oh yeah, you can't fail in the legions, I think.
Shoot.
What's Legion up to?
Not too long ago, they took Nelson and Searchlight. They got some camps on the eastern shore of the Colorado, and the monstrosity on the hill across the lake. That's for Caesar. Some folks don't believe he's here yet, but you can tell. He's the eye of the storm. It all roils and spins around him. You don't have to see the man to see the effect he has.
Man, you got a lot to say, bro. What happened at Searchlight?
Searchlight was worse. One of Caesar's Frumentari must have found something in there. Flooded the whole camp with radiation.
Tell me about Nelson.
Nelson was barely set up. We had a big stretch of unprotected land between Forlorn Hope and Searchlight, and Nelson was the solution. A deaconess named Dead Sea took the place and caused a lot of damage.
Alright. He knows a lot. Because you hear everything, don't you? How's SCR doing?
It's no secret we've had better campaigns. Holding this whole length of river isn't easy. We're stretched thin and the long 15 just keeps getting longer. Slow to get supplies, slower to get reinforcements. NCR's Senate has got funds tied up at the Boneyard. And President Kimball ordered our most experienced rangers to chase ghosts down at Baja.
Why are funds tied up at
Senate
Boneyard?
elections are coming up. Local representatives don't want to push any more funding to the Mojave campaign because it's unpopular. Most of the folks around the Boneyard haven't been to New Vegas and probably never will. All they know is that their money gets sucked away to this desert and their brothers, sisters, sons, and daughters die here.
What's going on in Baja?
It's complicated. It goes way back. I told President Kimball that we need more rangers here. He accepted that, but took the most experienced ones and sent them south. Patrol rangers are good men and women, but we're about to fight a war.
What about the troops?
You've seen it yourself. Some of them don't even have proper service rifles or armor. Our heavy infantry, power armor units, they're back in NCR territory protecting the interests of Brahmin barons against small-time raiders. Brahmin barons only have one vote at the ballot box, but they have a lot of money to throw around.
What do you know about Caesar?
The best of the best, worst of the worst. He came out of NCR, one of the followers of the apocalypse.
Whoa, really?
Like a lot of the followers, he went out in the wilderness with a partner to try to help those who needed helping. Not much different from how the Rangers used to be, except with books and medicine instead of guns.
Where'd he go?
Out to the Grand Canyon. He met a missionary from Utah, a man by the name of Joshua Graham. Graham helped translate for the followers and the tribes. All three of them got nabbed by the Blackfoots down there, back when they were still at war with every other tribe in the Southwest.
How did a follower end up becoming Caesar?
Somewhere along the way, he realized he needed to educate the Blackfoots or they were going to get wiped out with the rest of the tribe. Showed them how to use guns, how to make explosives. Once he taught the Blackfoots a thing or two, they needed him. And he no longer needed the followers, NCR, or anyone else. He decided he could remake the tribes of the Southwest whether they wanted it or not. He became Caesar, and Joshua Graham became his legate, his right hand. And that's where Graham stayed until Hoover Dam.
What happened to Graham after Hoover Dam?
Losing the dam was the worst defeat the Legion ever suffered. Graham had been with Caesar since the beginning, but he had to set an example. The Praetorians covered Graham in pitch, lit him on fire, and down into the Grand Canyon he went.
That was the end of him?
It's not that clear cut. You have to
There's thunder.
understand Graham was the toughest son of a gun anyone around these parts had ever seen. Before Hoover, we had 5 kill reports on Graham from Rangers and 1st Recon sharpshooters who tried to take him out. Some folks think he's still alive. Call him the Burned Man.
Are the Blackfoots part of Legion?
Yes and no. The Blackfoots don't exist anymore, just like any other tribe that gets swallowed by the Legion. Caesar takes the tribal out of the tribe.
East.
Scrapes and burns off tattoos, breaks up families, forces mixed breeding so all the old loyalties die away. The only tribe in the Legion is the Legion. Caesar is their chief, father, and god, all rolled into one. Shoot.
Gotta like thunder. I don't even care about yourself, to be honest. Let's stop. Make a hard save. Because I know this can go 1,000 different ways. And this is gonna be my last part for a while, so
You've
at
come
least
back
till
to see the
the
chief.
thunderstorm stops.
Nice.
I'm investigating some intel problems for Technical Sergeant Reyes.
Interesting that she would wrangle someone else into sorting out the problem. But I suppose you're in the right place. A lot of intel comes through here.
I hate this world. You know anything about the problems?
I don't know Technical Sergeant Reyes, but coordinating intel can be messy sometimes. Things get mixed up, people get confused. Heck, I get confused, and I've been doing this for a long time now. What he or she sees as a problem might be standard operating procedure. That's not to say Reyes is wrong for being concerned, but it's easy for the sand to get in your eyes out here.
How do you coordinate the intel?
It's a simple system when it works. Patrol rangers radio intel to ranger stations. Comm rangers send the intel up the station chain until it reaches Camp Gulf. Then I or one of the other rangers on duty organize the data, evaluate it, and send information to camps or troopers in the field.
Why don't ranger stations send intel directly to the troops?
Comm rangers might have an incomplete picture of the situation. There's a lot going on out there. Intel needs to be coordinated through Gulf so we can verify and advise appropriately. Troopers have enough to deal with. We don't want them questioning their intel.
Can you give me any advice?
Well, the logical thing to do is to check with the patrol rangers and comm officers. Don't be too discouraged if some things don't match up. Different people see different things, and sometimes the meaning gets
You talk
twisted,
a lot.
lost in static from person
You
to
beat around the
person.
bush so hard. He's the guy.
You've come back to see the...
I know you're the one who's manipulating the intel data.
Hold on. If we're gonna have this conversation, let's go somewhere more private. Don't worry, not much bite left in this old dog.
Really wants to go somewhere else. Alright. Speak to Chief Hanlon in his office. Oh, we already talked to this guy. I wish I didn't listen to his stories now. I mean, it's nice to know that Joshua Graham's the burned man, but this guy's also Chief Hanlon, the dickhead. Actually, in editing, I'm gonna see if I can cut out the what's it called? The thunder. All right. Look at that gun on his hip. It's a beautiful gun.
Hello?
Does massive damage. Massive. Alright. Me save again. Alright, Chief Allen.
Sorting and manipulating intelligence is what I do. It's what Rangers are supposed to do. This job isn't all gunfighting and gulping shots of whiskey, no matter what the boys and ladies out there say.
But you're inventing your own intelligence reports. I've seen the logs and talked to the Rangers.
You have you? Misdirection. When you're pinned down, outnumbered, and 2 days from any help, it's just about the best friend you can have. Misdirection's what saved me all these years. It's what saved us at Hoover Dam. But it's
It didn't
been
save
5
you.
years now, and Caesar
You didn't even win the
across
fight.
that lake. He's closer now than he ever was before. I was a young man once. I know what it's like to want to fight for your home. But this isn't it.
Why did you do it?
It's never gonna end. This fight with Caesar. People back home don't know what these young men and women are in for. The Legion is the worst enemy we've ever faced. But we can't stop Caesar here. Not without getting a lot of good people killed. More than anyone cares to count up. But even if we do stop him, I don't see how we're ever gonna be able to pull out.
Aren't you fighting for the people of New Vegas?
We're fighting on their behalf, but Mr. House and the families are stringing us up inch by inch. They'll drain us dry while we fight and die over this dam. We offered them sanctuary in NCR territory before, but they won't listen. Troopers and Rangers have been dying here for more than 5 years while the families sit pretty behind that damn wall.
How does spreading false intel help anything?
People back home don't listen. They don't care. Senators, Brahmin barons, folks who are just trying to make it from day to day. It's been so many years that people forget about it. Conscription brings in fresh troops that die here every month, like it's routine. And even if we hold this dam, what then? Are we gonna send the NCR's men and women to die here for another 5 years? 10? Patrol the whole length of the Colorado for hundreds of miles? Holding this dam, it'll be the death of us.
You'll be the death of us. Well, what does that accomplish?
Creating fear and instability among the troopers without causing harm. It's the only thing I could think of to shake things up. It took some people getting killed to realize I'd gone too far. I had to stop.
What do you think I should do about this?
First thing that comes to mind is to turn me in. But that might not be the best play, all things considered. Even if your heart's in the right place, I reckon it might do a lot more harm than good.
What will you do if I don't turn you in?
Oliver can't stand that Rangers got credit for victory at Hoover. Whatever I recommend, he does the opposite. I said I wanted us on the ridge. He put them right on the western part of the dam itself. We don't have enough firepower to hold that spot. If the troopers fall back, and they will, the Rangers will advance to cover Oliver's retreat. We lose the dam, Oliver and the center are ruined.
What about you and the Rangers?
Rangers are volunteers. Every man and woman who signs up is willing to die for the NCR, myself included. A lot of this is my fault. It's only right that I stand with them.
That's crazy.
Maybe 50 Rangers will die on that dam. We lose over 1,000 troopers every year. Being here is crazy. Getting out's the only sane thing to do.
You minced me. Your secret's safe.
I don't know if you're working for Caesar, or if desperation's made me a heck of a lot more persuasive. Either way, this is the right thing to do. Now, I trust we're done discussing this. I'm gonna step through that door and pretend like we never had this talk.
Hello?
I don't believe there's anything left for us to talk about.
Reload. That's not what
Hello?
we're supposed to talk about. It's supposed to be some situation where he says, oh,
Morning.
or he made a mistake and he has to reflect off his actions. That's what I want. I want to get to a point where he tells me to get out of his room.
Sorting and
Hmm. Too bad. I'm turning you in.
fair enough. You want to do this the right way, go get one of the Rangers. Don't worry, I'm not going to run out on you.
Ba-dum-ba-dum. See, listen.
Morning. Don't tell the troopers, but the grub here is way better than the mess tent.
Dell. Quest, man.
When I got this assignment, I
Supposed to
was
talk.
hoping there'd be-
Let me skip.
When I got this assignment, I was
When I
hoping
got,
there'd be
we
more
won't go
gambling.
quietly. The Legion can count on that.
We won't go fight.
This shit's broken too. Are you kidding me? I'll be back. I'll have to edit this a little bit. Alrighty, guys. Alright. I always hope I cut it, but apparently,
Sorting and
thing is, I have to turn on the radio. Let me turn up my radio. I think that was a radio problem I was having.
Rangers, this is
See?
the chief. I know I can
It was
ramble
connected to the
on
radio.
sometimes, but I need you to
I was
listen
tripping.
close for the next minute or so. I've got some bad news. Rangers, this is the chief. I know I can ramble on sometimes, but I need you to listen close for the
You
next
said this is a
minute
sheep
or so.
twice.
I've got some bad news. I messed up. Made a mistake. I thought I could help us get out of here, but it didn't work out. I messed up. Made a mistake. I thought I could help us
Hello?
get out of here, but it didn't work out. Rangers get injured all the time. It's part of the job.
What is he talking about?
But if you lose a few fingers, get a bad break, that's it. You step down. Rangers get injured all the time. It's part of the job. But if you lose a few fingers, get a bad break, that's it. You step down. We rely on each other too much to let our infirmities become a liability. The Ranger knows when it's time. Only I didn't. We rely on each other too much to let our infirmities become a liability. The Ranger knows when it's time. Only I didn't. Somewhere along the way, something broke inside me. I couldn't find us a way out of this desert. I wrestled with it, and it took me down a dark road. Somewhere along the way, something broke inside me. I couldn't find us a way out of this desert. I wrestled with it, and it took me down a dark road. I wish I could explain it to you. The old chief's finally at a loss for words. I wish I could explain it to you. The old chief's finally at a loss for words. Send me all the Legion you can.
You just said it again.
I'll be
Lost
waiting
words
for
twice.
Send me all the Legion you can. I'll be waiting for him.
That shot came from the
Fuck.
chief's office.
He repeated himself twice. Hey, Chief. Nice gun you got.
Chief. Why did you do it? Hard to believe this
Yeah,
place
to.
used to be a luxury resort, huh?
Yeah, I want that gun though. One of the rarest weapons out here. Excuse me. Gotta go somewhere else and go squeeze it in my inventory. He died.
Haven't had any reports from Station Charlie.
I don't know
in a
what he
while.
was talking about.
Hope everything's okay.
Let me turn up my radio now. Hey guys, we're gonna whip these you suckers into shape.
Patrolling the Mojave almost makes you wish for a nuke.
Hey Raz.
Shit, here comes the brown.
Hey. Trying to whip you into shape.
Yo, I'll tell you what this squad needs. A healthy dose of angry juice.
Angry juice.
Psycho, the big red one. I used to run with the fiends. I still got the hookups. Smuggle some in and you'll see an improvement.
On second thoughts, talk to the others first.
Whatever.
Yeah, I'm not trying to get everyone drugged up, so
Clear winner.
I'll say from you. Mag.
You've managed to become extraordinary.
Asked me to get you guys into shaping up. Come on.
That seems highly illogical. What reason would he have for doing that?
He thinks you respond better to someone who is in an authoritative figure.
Well, this is an unexpected variable. I had hoped to coast on an easy wave of mediocrity to a cushy government pension.
Maybe I can help out.
And how would you propose accomplishing such a goal? Company readiness.
Yeah, I don't think I want to cheat, actually. Cheating's too cheatable. Let's talk to
Y'all sure
this
are
guy.
big old...
Pretty nice.
To me? I'll tell you what I think this squad needs. A little more basic human niceness.
Human niceness.
That's right. Folks just don't talk to other folks. And everybody's always cross with each other.
So you think I should find a way to convince the misfits to get along?
That'd be swell. Only if they knew the idea came from me, they probably wouldn't take you serious no more. So maybe you ought to think about it first. And I sure hope you're more convincing than I am, or they ain't gonna listen.
Alright, I'll convince them.
Okay.
Hello.
Talk with Raz
Oh, shit,
first.
here comes the brown.
About
Like
getting
I
you
said.
ready? It's charming. Getting to know them's good help.
Shit, maybe you're right. Guess I ought to give him a shot.
Shit. Yeah, I guess I ought to give him a shot. Hey, Mags.
Wow. The big...
So about those improvements.
Yeah, what about it? I told you we need marksmanship and explosive handling improvements. Wow. The...
You aren't too fond of your squad mates. Lead by example. You're tearing them down.
You really think so? Hell, I guess it's worth a shot.
They all say that, so... Oh, yeah, it's not my gun. Cho. It's not Hansen's gun. Don't hurt me.
You've managed to become
And you...
Yeah.
You're so respected, maybe you can help get the unit to shape.
You're trying to appeal to my ego. I must admit it's an effective tactic. All right, I'll help. But only because I want to see if it's even possible. I somehow suspect you'll be back.
Probably not. Where is... your friend? He's over there. That
Hello.
can sit separately in the mess
Y'all
hall.
sure are a big old hero.
So how's that human niceness working out?
Boy, the squad sure is working together a lot better now. I think we're gonna be A-okay.
Oh, we're done. Okay. A lot more of that human kindness.
Toodaloo.
Or idolized. I get a free level up. Alright, medicine's to 50. My barter is going all the way up. Actually, no. I get my barter to 70.
Hello.
The next level, we can use that perk. Anyways, guys, yeah, I'm gonna end it right here. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Working out. Peace.